Life had been a constant struggle for my family, and I couldn't deny it any longer. Unemployed for 3 long years, I watched my wife, Brenda, shoulder the burden of being the sole breadwinner. She toiled as an accountant for a mega-corporation, putting food on the table, providing a roof over our heads, and ensuring our 3 kids had comfortable beds to sleep in. I spent more time with the kids than with Brenda, and I knew it bothered her. She'd nag me about finding a better-paying job, getting new skills, or even going back to school. The truth was, I'd never finished high school, and studying was never my strong suit. I preferred working day-to-day jobs despite the minimal pay. Months passed by, and the guilt of not contributing enough gnawed at me. Brenda's relentless work made me desperate to find a solution, even if it meant working overseas. That's when an email arrived, offering me a job as a rig operator at Oasis, an oil rig company. The annual salary of $200,000 was tempting, especially considering my lack of experience. I accepted the offer without hesitation and found myself in an interview with Dylan, the employment manager. He seemed like a nice guy, questioning me about my potential in the oil rig environment. Dylan's inquiries took a strange turn when he asked about dealing with sea anomalies. I shrugged it off, answering truthfully to the best of my abilities. In Dylan's eyes, my responses weren't satisfactory, but the company was desperate, and he reluctantly welcomed me aboard. I was overjoyed and hugged him, only to feel a slight pushback. Dylan reminded me to check my email for job preparation details and mentioned I should start next week. Returning home, I shared the news with Brenda, who was thrilled. We decided to celebrate with a fancy dinner at a local restaurant, a rare treat for us. I couldn't help but wonder about the next chapter in my life. Regrets about not studying haunted me, and I acknowledged Brenda as the true man of the house. The questions Dylan had asked still lingered in my mind, but I brushed them aside. Little did I know, the mystery surrounding my new job would soon unfold, and my journey into the unknown was about to begin. 6 days after the interview, I found myself meticulously packing equipment, clothing, and essentials, trying to wrap my head around the videos the company had sent about the oil rig. The safety measures, the workarounds, and what to expect, my head throbbed from information overload. The email instructed that I'd be transported to the oil rig via helicopter, adding an extra layer of nervousness to my already jittery state. Driving away from my family, I looked back to see them waving goodbye. A pang of sadness hit me, but I shook it off, reminding myself that this was for them. Arriving at the warehouse facility, the eerie emptiness made me feel like I was in the wrong place. I waited alone until a blunt force struck my head, and everything went dark. When I woke up, I found myself in a dimly lit room with 2 bunk beds. A man named Ryan, towering at 7 feet with a deep voice, wearing a black exo-like suit, introduced himself as my trainer. Bewildered and still dizzy, I asked what was going on. Ryan's stern response warned me not to ask questions during training. As we walked through dark corridors, Ryan dropped the bombshell, my perpetual work on the oil rig, a life where I'd never see my family again. Shocked and horrified, I remained silent. Ryan revealed the company's dark secret, the extraction of oil from enormous sea creatures known as the dark sea serpents. Thinking it was a joke, I laughed nervously, but Ryan's stoic expression shattered my disbelief. He led me to an underwater facility where I witnessed the monstrous serpent, 80 feet in length, being drained of its oil by a team of workers. Fear trembled through me as Ryan explained that these serpents contained 80% more oil than their own blood. Inside the world's largest oil rig, housing 55,000 unfortunate souls, the weather was perpetually stormy and rainy, a reflection of the serpent's habitat. Ryan described the creatures as long, snake-like, dark green monstrosities with 4 eyes capable of devouring entire ships in one swallow. As we continued, Ryan disclosed the horrifying truth that over 100 men died on these expeditions weekly. The gravity of my situation sank in, and the unreal nature of it all left me paralyzed with fear. This wasn't the future I had hoped for, and the chilling reality of my newfound job left me questioning everything I had signed up for. Over the grueling 3 months of training, my entire existence transformed. Ryan's relentless regimen turned me into an emotionless soldier, my attitude, mindset, and body evolving into something unrecognizable from the man who first arrived at the oil rig. I became a creature of the trenches, awaiting an inevitable death beneath the crushing depths of the ocean. Ryan's training felt like torture, pushing my mind and body to the limits. There were moments when I almost passed out during the physical and mental exercises. My lack of fitness disappointed Ryan, yet he saw potential in me as a mobile task force member. Each subject was a new layer of hell. The mobile safety procedures were drilled into my head, along with the details of the advanced weaponry and underwater vehicle pods. These pods were marvels of technology, capable of carrying massive weights, housing 50 individuals, and equipped with advanced turrets to stun the serpents. The discomfort of the exosuits, essential for surviving underwater pressure, added to the physical strain. It was a necessary evil, Ryan explained. The biology of the dark sea serpents turned my stomach. Knowing that their oil contributed to human society made the job even more sickening. The survival methods underwater felt like lessons in staying alive in an alien world. One day, I hit a low point during survival training, overcome by the reality that I would never see my family again. I sank into depression, the weight of my new existence almost unbearable. The only thread connecting me to sanity was a family photo I kept hidden, a secret talisman in the abyss. Combat training, despite being intense, became a point of accomplishment. After 2 months, I managed to beat Ryan, a feat that boosted my confidence, even if only slightly. I had my own thoughts and complaints about each aspect of the training, but voicing them to Ryan seemed futile. As I explored the oil rig, a place where men's souls died, I discovered a purgatory-like existence. The stormy weather and the ceaseless sounds of the sea contributed to the eerie ambiance. Yet, amidst the desolation, I found solace in the camaraderie of others who, like me, had been tricked into this grim job. Ryan believed I was ready for my first expedition, but doubts lingered in my mind. I tried convincing him to continue training, but he remained unyielding. "If you die, you die. That's it, Bailey." The reality set in, and I accepted my fate, to plunge into the dark depths of the ocean, a soldier in a war against colossal sea creatures, with no hope of returning to the world I once knew. If you like this story and want to see more, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video.